I'd been a father, a husband and a business owner, and then I wasn't any of those. And if you asked me anything about myself or anything about my past, they were usually going to be involved in my life, and suddenly they didn't exist. So past didn't exist. And the problem was, because so many repeatedly bad things had happened, my brain just got used to the fact or thought that everything was going to go wrong, everything was going to slip through my fingers, so it felt like the future didn't exist either. And in doing so, it felt like it was impossible to enjoy the present. Life changed overnight in 2011 when, on the first night of our holiday, I found my son Harvey dead in his bed. Despite my efforts to try and save him, he'd actually died in the middle of the night. It was a harrowing experience, and unfortunately following that, despite my best efforts to try and do the right thing, no matter what I did in life, everything seemed to fall through my fingers over the following 7 years. I lost my marriage, I lost my home, someone else took over the running of my business while I tried to sort of refocus on the rest of life. Unfortunately, that didn't go to plan either. So really in the space of a few years, I lost everything that I ever had, both personally and professionally, and as a result fell into a really serious mental health bout, a bad bout of anxiety and depression. Even though I felt so desperately lonely, I knew I wasn't alone, but I felt so desperately lonely, having lost so much over the course of time, that I would at least try and reach out, whether it was on Facebook, whether it was a phone call to someone. And you felt bad sometimes because you feel like you're moaning at someone, but you've got to speak to someone. You have to let it out, because otherwise those evil, horrible thoughts begin to consume you. So I'd say opening up without question is the paramount thing. It feels like you're at the bottom of the deepest well. It's really nice to try and believe that by someone just handing down a rope that they're going to pull you back up, and that's the feeling that you really want to happen. But ultimately, that's not going to happen. If you want to get rid of anxiety and depression completely, you're going to have to do it on your own, and there are many things that you're going to have to do it. And it's one thing, certainly when I look back now, that I get very frustrated about when people talk about anxiety and depression, that they're sort of almost persuaded in some way that one thing will fix it, or there'll be a Hollywood moment where suddenly I feel better. And I genuinely don't think that's the case. If you've got anxiety or depression or any kind of sort of a mental, one of those mental health things I suppose that you can fit, that is more easy to fix by applying these things with things you can do yourself. Because remember, there are more extreme mental health conditions that's unfortunately not possible. Look, do you really think there's going to be a quick fix where in a month you're going to be feeling better? This is your whole life that's got you to where you are today. Let's please remind ourselves, whether we are an industry magazine, whether we're a consultant, or whether we're an insurer, we've all got mouths to feed and we have to run our businesses profitably. I do think, however, that the way in which we all run our lives is based on, a value set, an understanding, and particularly passion. And the more that we are aware of mental health and the way to approach it, the more those grey areas and those grey lines where maybe there are areas that people can just help a little bit more from inside the industry, maybe there are areas in which they could be more aware of their colleagues, and maybe, probably more importantly, they can be aware of themselves. I think if we can do that, then we're going to find the perfect balance for mental health out there. What I decided to do was to try everything apart from the pills that I was told might help. So that included everything from my diet, from cutting out alcohol, from making sure that I applied myself to exercise, to making sure that I did relaxing things, so meditation, yoga, any of these sort of things, yoga nidra. And I built all of these things into my life. The great thing is, if you do apply yourself to all of these things and build them all into your life, then you can get to a place, an appreciation and, I suppose, love for the world, and the things that have happened in the past, and what might happen in the future, and enjoy today more than I ever have done before.